almost impossible. It is mentioned even Anantashesh, manifestation of the Lord, thousand-hooded serpent, is constantly trying to glorify the Supreme Lord, Krishna or Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but he does not find the man. So Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they are unlimited. So their pastimes are unlimited. But by the mercy of the associates of the Lord, some of the pastimes have been revealed for the benefit of the conditioned souls. The pure devotees, they can always see the pastimes of the Lord within the heart. The pure devotees are always reciprocating with Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The eternal associates of the Lord, they are engaged in loving exchange with the Lord in these pastimes, in the spiritual world. Known as Nitya Lila, the eternal pastimes of Krishna Mahaprabhu are there in the spiritual world. And Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they come in this world to attract the fallen conditioned souls. They come to give transcendental knowledge. And specifically, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give the holy names of the Lord, which is the Yuga Dharma, the religion for the age of Kali, the chanting of the holy names. Specifically the mantra Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
So we have discussed in the previous sessions about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance, his wonderful childhood pastimes, and then his pastime during boyhood and then youth in Mayapur Navadvip, and then Mahaprabhu entering, of course, first being a good student, and then also what he has learned, he was teaching, what he has learned from his teacher, then he was in turn teaching that to the younger students, as was the process previously in the Gurukul. And then later on, he entered the Grihasthashram, and he was an exemplary householder. Continuing with studying and teaching, but then after one time going to Gaya to offer for the benefit of his forefathers, Shindadan, which is for the Vaishnavas, offering Krishna Prasad or Vishnu Prasad to the forefathers. Then he met his friend Master Ishwarapuri, and of course we know that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Lord himself. He's Adi Guru, Krishna or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But just to set the example to show the common man that it is imperative to accept the spiritual master in order to advance in spiritual life. So he himself accepted Ishwara Puri as his spiritual master. And the spiritual master told him to chant holy names, the mantra. And he gave him one other mantra also, a Gopal mantra, which is just like the Gayatri mantra. And he told him that by chanting holy names, your life will become successful. And he told him specifically also, no need to read all the Vedic literatures which are there. Some studies have to be there, specifically on the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the essence of the Vedic literatures. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as a beautiful disciple, took to heart the instructions of the Supreme Master, and then upon returning home to Mayapur, he started the Sankirtan movement, the congregational chanting of the holy names, the mantra. And all the devotees of Mayapur and Navadvip, they were very happy to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu chanting the holy names and instructing others to chant the holy names, and instructing others also to worship the Lord and to study specifically the Bhagavad Gita and the Srimad Bhagavatam. And then also, so we discussed that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu entered the sannyas ashram just before his 25th appearance day in the month of March Mas at Katwa, which is not so far from Mayapur. And then after entering the sannyas ashram, he went to Jagannath Puri and being requested by his mother, so he decided to make his permanent residence in Jagannath Puri. And he stayed in a small place, not far from the Jagannath temple. One devotee, he had his house there, Kashi Mishra, and was very respected, and also one of the devotees looking after the Jagannath temple. And he himself had a small temple there, with beautiful deities. Krishna and Srimati Radharani, Radha Radhanath. And there, nearby, just in the same compound of his house and where the temple is situated, a small room was given to Mahaprabhu. Just 2 by 2 meter, very small, Bhajan Kutir. And so Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, it is mentioned, he was 7 feet tall. So he had to lie down diagonal in the room. He was going to lie down straight. So sannyasis should be supposed to be very renounced, humble, dedicated to the service of the Lord. So Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Supreme Lord, he appears in this world as a devotee to show how to execute devotional service, and of course also how to follow rules and regulations in regards to Vana Ashram. So as a sannyasi, he showed how a sannyasi has to be very renounced, living in a simple place, and usually at that time it was the custom, and of course the weather in Puri is very mild, it is not cold, and also not, of course it is a little hot in the summer, but less than, especially when Mahaprabhu was present or Krishna is present, then the weather is ideal. The Supreme becomes the environment in this world also, in the material world, becomes transcendental. There's not too much heat or there's not too much cold. Everything is perfect and balanced. So, as a sannyasi, the custom was that one will have only two clothes. Known as longi, Mahir the outer covering, so the dress, two pieces of cloth. One the longi, which is just like a dhoti, but a little shorter, and then uttari or uttarvats, so covering the upper part of the body. So two cloth, that was the tradition of the sannyasis. They were not wearing stitched cloth, just two cloth were there. And in the winter they may have a blanket or a chadar that was warm. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he did very simple. He had, of course, also a water pot. Kamandala, that is by tradition, the sadhus they are having a water pot. They're carrying a water pot for drinking water. And wearing paduka, wooden shoes, which are there also so that one may be able to control the senses. Of course, controlling the senses is possible by spiritual strength, by being absorbed in thoughts of the Supreme Lord, and specifically in the age of Kali by chanting holy names, by chanting various mantras, mantra to free the mind from engaging in material thoughts. So the paduka there also to help in controlling the senses. So just like it is mentioned that if one is able to control the tongue, then one is able to control the belly and the private parts. Also the sannyasi will have a danda, a staff, showing that they are fully dedicated to spiritual activities. And as we discussed last time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas from a Mayavadi sannyasi, and they are having one danda, eka danda sannyasi, showing that they are absorbed in the absolute truth. But their consciousness is not completely purified and they are not fully absorbed in the highest consciousness, which is Krishna consciousness. So some slight misconception is there, that they want to merge in the absolute truth. So that is actually in the material world. Since time immemorial, even nowadays we can see Mayavadis are there. In personally saying the absolute truth has no form. So that is actually the first step in spiritual understanding that beyond this material world there is spiritual existence. Spiritual substance is there. The individual soul and the Supreme. So the Mayavadis have this understanding that we may merge in the absolute truth, which is also possible, but that is not the complete perfection. That is the spiritual conditioning to merge in the absolute truth, in the spiritual realm. But the actual perfection is to enter the pastimes of the world, to serve the world in loving exchange. So the Mayavadis have one danda, whereas the Vaishnavas have three danda. So they are known as three dandi. And that signifies that they are engaging or they are surrendered to the Lord with body, mind and words. So that is the significance of three danda. So but the main point is that the proper understanding has to be there, and Mahaprabhu, the Supreme Lord, so he actually gave you proper understanding of the absolute truth. Achita Veda Veda Tattva. Achita, it is inconceivable. Veda Veda Tattva. So that the absolute truth is silently one and different from his material existence also. Whereas the Mayavadis, they are having the understanding that Advaitvad, Keval Advait, so that the spiritual realm is different from this material realm, which is full of duality. There is hidden cold, happiness and distress. So the Mayavadis are saying we are spirit by nature and we can merge in the Supreme Spirit and become one. And there is no duality, there is no happiness and distress. So it is true to one sense, there is no material happiness and there is no material distress. But then there is a spiritual happiness and there is spiritual distress. So then all the great acharyas actually they refuted this Mayavad understanding. And so therefore also Prabhupada and all the acharyas, they have always tried to refute this Mayavad philosophy because it is prominent and it has to be defeated all the time. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself defeated the Mayavad philosophy also, and then all his followers up to Srila Prabhupada. So that is absolutely required. So even the four acharyas of the four sampradaya, like Madhvacharya and Raghunujaracharya, Nimbarica and Vishnu Swami, they established their philosophies also. Explaining the same point as Mahaprabhu later on, that the absolute truth is simultaneously one and different from this material manifestation. And the living entity, the jiva, is simultaneously one with the Lord and different from the Lord also. By quality we are also Satchidananda Vigraha, we turn full of wisdom knowledge, but in minor quantity. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as a sannyasi, was very exemplary and living in a very simple place and having only two sets of clothes. So one was wearing and then the other one set was washed. So there is a custom. We wear the cloth one day and then the next day we wash it. And then the next day, so the other set is there. So very simple. Always chanting holy names, japa individually and performing sankirtan with his devotees. And in this way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Puri attracted so many persons and they all then try to follow Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by chanting holy names, by studying the scriptures, specifically the Bhagavad Gita and the Srimad Bhagavatam. These are the two important books for the Vaishnavas, which Mahaprabhu also himself was always studying and teaching to his devotees. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu every day in Jagannath-puri he was seeing Gadadhar Pandit and they were discussing Srimad Bhagavatam. So therefore Srila Prabhupada also introduced that every day in the morning there should be recitation of the Srimad Bhagavatam. You should hear Srimad Bhagavatam, or we should read the Srimad Bhagavatam in the morning. And in the evening, we should try to read or hear the Bhagavad Gita every day. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was the ideal teacher, he was doing that. So everyone is hearing Bhagavatam every day, Srimad Bhagavatam hearing every day, or reading every day.
Not every day.
Not every day?
Not
Not every day. It is good practice to do every day. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Nityam, that refers to daily or always. So Prabhupada said every morning, and we established in all the temples that we should hear or read the Srimad Bhagavatam every day. Even if it is just one shloka. And then in the evening, so Bhagavad Gita. So if you can hear or read at least every day one shloka of Bhagavad Gita, so that would be helpful. And then, so Bhagavad Gita is spoken by Krishna himself. And Bhagavatam is about Krishna. And Krishna